Okay, so I would like to give you a kind of a network about the lensing before I tell you about what the snapshot of the development from the AIC. So actually in here you can see our lensing network. So lensing, I think as far as you know, we produce fibers, but I think beside the fibers, actually we also produce the pulp. So we have a pulp factory from Czech and also from headquarters. So actually at the moment we have two pulp manufacturer. We will also have one coming in Brazil. So I think in the future we will have a free pulp factory in Lenzing Group. For the fiber plant, actually we have a 3 generation of fibers from Visco, Model, and Lyocell. At the moment we have 6 in the global, from Europe, America to Asia. Asia we have Nanjing, and also we have in Indonesia, Purwakarta, and we also have the one coming is in Thailand, is for Lyocell. So in the future we have 7. Beside the manufacturing plant, we also have 10 office in the global network. So starting from the US to the Europe and also in Asia, we have the office in Hong Kong, we have the office in Shanghai, we also have the office in Taipei. So total add up together, we have about 10 office, so you can reach. Regarding for the technical center, we have 3. So 1 in the headquarters and 1 also in the Purwakarta, and another one is in Hong Kong. So this is what we are talking about today. So you have a rough idea about our Lenzing network from POP to the technical center to the office. So next, please. Next. Yeah. So actually for the technical center, we have the name is LIT. So Lenzing Innovation Technology Hub. So for the LIT, we have 3 centers, as I mentioned before. The one in Austria, we call TMC, Technical Marketing Center. So this center actually is basically focused on the wood fiber and also for the fiber innovation and also about the yarn development. Another one we have in Indonesia, Lenzing Center of Excellence. It will basically focus on the yarn development and quality related matters. The last one we have an AIC called Application Innovation Center. It will specific focus on new application and also fabric development. So in Lenzing Group, we only have a 3 center. So this center actually is to connect with the industry for development. Okay, next please. So today I will just talk about a little bit about AIC. That means the one located in Hong Kong. It was founded in 2017. That means 3 years ago. It located in Hong Kong. Actually, it is close to the Kwun Tong area. Around us, there is a lot of buying office surrounding our office. Actually, this is one of the purpose why we set the office in here and also the center in here, because the center is more convenient to be access to the brand. So we can have a kind of a regular or irregular schedule with the brand for a kind of a training, for a kind of workshop together. And also when doing the kind of discussion, we have a kind of development together in this workshop. So please next. So in this center, we have 2 specific functions. So one specific function is about the education and training. So you can see we will have a kind of training to the industry. Sometimes we will work together with some of the trend consultant like WGSN. And also we will also have a kind of seminar talk to some of the NGO association like the JES. So to educate a little bit about the designer, the future designer or the current designer. So this is no no fixed topic. It quite depends what we would like to align a little bit, but I would say most likely either we are talking about the sustainability topic, maybe the sustainability material, and also maybe sometimes we will talk about some of the technical aspect, how to wash the garment, something like that. So it is a kind of a topic we can discuss from time to time. Will be different and depends on different kind of audience. Regarding for the development, so I think development is something like starting from very raw idea to be the final one. That means from very from a kind of image through a kind of a try and error to develop certain real product. So in the AIC, we can develop a kind of prototype for the industry. So in the AIC, we have 4 specific area. One is a kind of multi-purpose area. So it can be a kind of purpose for the connection with the industry. So it will be something like seminar and workshop. And the second area will be for the yarn preparation. So yarn preparation, we are not spinning. We are just doing the yarn preparation. Fabric making. So we have both knitting and weaving. But to be honest, knitting will be more full set. So we have a circular knitting, we will have a kind of fat knitting, we have a socks knitting, so we can have that kind of full set of knitting. Dye finishing, we have a garment drum and also a kind of package dyeing. In this workshop, you can find it. So next page. So because the time today, I cannot talk too much about the center, and also cannot talk about in details on our all the application. So I just give you a kind of a snapshot to share with you what we are doing the past few years on the development. So for the development, I would say we capture 2 ends. So one end is from the technical orientated. So meaning that when we've come across a certain problem on the fabric, so we can using a kind of technical knowledge to develop something to resolve it. So market driven means maybe a brand or retailer, they have a certain idea they want to develop. So it will be called a kind of market driven. So our idea is coming from both sides, technical driven and market driven. So there is a 4 area we would like to develop. So one area is about the application. So within the application, I would like to share with you what example we have before. Next page. So like shoes, so it's a very typical example and very good example in AIC we develop. So this is the shoes. Shoes we can develop, we can make a kind of upper fabric from our stole machine for the fat knit. So when we can mix our model color yarn or even do the filament yarn or different kind of color yarn mixing together or different kind of material to make a kind of upper shoes fabric. And next please. Even though we cannot assemble the shoes by ourselves, but we can asking the partner to assemble the shoes for us. So this is one of the example. We're using a kind of filament yarn, that means our TENCELLyocell, to making the upper fabric, and then we assemble the shoes through outside the Godless International to helping us to make the shoes fabric, shoes garment, making the shoes. Next please. Another example, actually, we're using the yarn from Far Eastern Syrian. So it is also making the shoes insole. So it is also providing a kind of blood circulation purpose. Next please. This is also for the comfort and also for the warm consideration. This is a tencel wool. We're making a kind of insole fabric inside the shoes. Next please. Even though I think you're aware of this, this is a kind of foot net bag. But I think in the market, we find a lot of plastic food net. So this kind of plastic actually is not good for the environment. So that's why we have a kind of idea to using our model color to make a kind of shopping bag or a kind of a food net to contain that to replace that kind of plastic bag. So even though the AIC we don't have a kind of a warp knit machine, but we have a very good connection in the industry. So that's why we prepare the yarn by ourselves, and then we send outside to work together, because during the warp knitting we don't know whether it is feasible or not. So it will be a kind of back and forward action, because since the yarn is not strong enough, maybe we need to adjust a little bit in here, or piling the yarn, twisting the yarn, making it stronger. So this is a kind of a practice. We are working with the industry and other partners together. The next, please. So one direction is about the end application. Another direction we are going is about the technology. So in the technology, I would like to call a few examples for you. Next. Next, yeah. So in here, I think this is about the seamless. So in seamless, normally if we want to produce a seamless garment, we need to prepare two sets of the yarn. So one is S twist, another set is Z twist, to ensure there is no spirality issue, because S and Z alternative setting will counter back. We have a kind of I mean, if using the one direction, you will have a spirality. So if using two direction, S and Z, we will counter the drawback. So that's why this is the best practice in the market. But the problem is it will be a cost issue. You need to keep high stock yarn. You need to keep two direction of the yarn in your warehouse. So our idea is to using MVS yarn. So in MVS yarn, we are using there's no direction at all. So in MVS yarn, we just thinking about we're using different kind of spinning speed. So you can see right here, maybe starting from 350 to 460, something like that. I cannot see the graph, but I think it's something like from 300 to 400 something. We have different kind of yarn speed, yarn quality from the different kind of speed. So after we have making the yarn, so you will see the gray in here. There is no spirality at all, even though you after washing or after dyeing and finishing, there is no spirality. So it perfectly proves that using the MVS yarn, and by adjusting the speed, it will allow you no need to prepare two sets of the ring spun yarn S and Z. It will save you some cost. So this is one of the example about the technology development. Second, please, the next page. This is UNDENIM denim. So UNDENIM denim is a very funny one, because we find a kind of chemicals. If we treat the fiber with this chemical, it will allow the fiber to be colored without any additional chemicals. That means salt and alkaline. So it was saving some chemicals in the dye and finishing, and through the animation video you can see. So one is treated fibers, one is untreated fibers. We put the dye stuff inside, just only dye sub solution. There's no salt and alkaline, and then you take it out. You can see the color, the water, the remaining solution is clear. So that means all the dye stuff will be absorbed by the fibers. And the next one, untreated one, is remain. So that means the dye is not fixed on the fibers. So this is one of the tricky things. And through a kind of a specific knitting technology and also a kind of fabric design, combining this technology together with the special design of the technology knitting, and then to imitate a kind of knit denim effect. So this technology, we also have the patent, so you can check from this number. So I think this is a very funny and also very innovative patent technology we have in AIC. If you have interest in the future, we can have more connection to talk about in the detail. But definitely I cannot talk in here because this is quite, we need some time to go through it. Next, please. And also in the technology side, I think nowadays the people are aware that using the PFC phosphate carbon is not a good is carcinogenic. So that's why we need to use a kind of PFC-free finish. So that means using a kind of plant or maybe a wax to treat the water treatment fabric. So this is one of the examples we treat our fabric. Next, please. And also we also have a very good idea because nowadays most of the sport wear we have a kind of maybe cotton polyester or tencel polyester, but I think that now the mega trend is the polyester is not a kind of renewable resources. So you need to spend maybe a few hundred years to degrade. So I think that our idea is to, or our aim is want to use 100% cellulose for sportswear. So this is one of the idea we want to use 100% cellulose as a sportswear through a kind of special knitting and also special treatment to make it one-way transportation. So in my original presentation, I will have a kind of data we share with you. But I think in here, I just want to, you can see just only the animation video. So this is one of the technology we are touched with. Next, please. I think in Korea is quite familiar with this technology, Cool and Silky development. So Cool and Silky development is to achieve a kind of aesthetic of the fabric with cool touch or a kind of silky touch through the different kind of processing. Even maybe I can say it's a kind of mechanical pitching, so through the threading, or maybe through a kind of open rib by Cobalt batch. So there is a kind of dyeing mill and finishing mill will work together to make a kind of a cool and silky development on the knit fabric. So in this project, one of the special thing is that we're using the standard tensile. So you know the standard tensile on the knit, you have a lot of issue about the vibration, but in this project we deal with it using a kind of resin, using a kind of enzyme to overcome this issue. So so I think that this development is quite successful in Korea. So next, please. So the third direction is about the material. So what kind of example I can quote here? So next, like a wool. So in here, the wool we also compare. This is also a very good development because as far as I remember, we compare the tensile wool by different percentage from 10, 90-10, 80-20, and 70-30 tensile wool in the ring spun compared to the tensile wool from the worsted. So worsted, like we have 60-40, 40-60, and 20-80, something like minority wool or majority tensile on both worsted and ring spun. So through that kind of comparison study or apple-to-apple study, we can identify their air permeability, their comfort factors, their water vapor resistance, the thermal resistance, and also the hand feel. So in this study, we definitely have a deep understanding what is the performance of the worsted, what is the benefit from the ring spun, and what is the limitation of those ring spun and worsted technology we have at the moment. Yeah. So in this is about the wool side. So next page. Yeah, this is also a good one. We work with the Japanese company to brand with their paper yarn to making a kind of socks, or even though a kind of shoes upper, or maybe we can also do a kind of single jersey fabric too. So this is also a very representable one. The paper yarn is from Biodegradable. Next page. Escafe is from Taiwan. So because you know model or even though maybe a TENCELL model, we don't have the performance. So that's why this is a very good idea to brand with the Escafe to bring the model with model fabric have a kind of performance like all anti-odors, bacteria, that kind of things. So in this concept, we are not only using the model, we are also using a kind of model eco color technology. So in this development, even if we don't need to dye any color at all, we just put the color put our model color into this fabric, and then we can so no dyeing at all. Yeah, please next page. So the last one will be the sustainability. Next. Yeah, sustainability is based on two things. I think like the one here, we're using the recycled cotton. So in this recycled cotton, I think you know that recycle have certain limitation on the yarn tenacity. So in this study, we also using our Lenzing EcoVelo to upgrade a little bit about the sustainability factors, and also to bring up a little bit about the yarn tenacity in here. Next. Microplastic. So microplastic, I think you must be aware that during the washing, our home laundry, so some of every time we wash, we will have a kind of, if your garment, if the whole lock of garment, whole drum of garment is a kind of polyester, that kind of things, or nylon something. So you have a kind of a lint after if the filter cannot filter out. So that kind of microplastic will be drained off to the ocean. And when going to the ocean, the fish will eat it. So and further down, we will get the fish back, and then we eat it back. So that kind of microplastic will be in our body. This is not a good. It is a kind of cycle. So that's why the microplastic pollution is quite quite something. It's a kind of hot topic in the world. So we are working with like a Taiwan king view to develop a kind of fabric. So the polyester at the front, but the inside, the frizz, we using TENCELL as a frizz. So still, it will be make sure when you are washing, the lint coming out is cellulose, not the polyester, not the polyester, not the synthetic part. So so it is also a meaningful development. Next page. This is about the biodegradable, because our visitor come to us. This is a quite often a kind of a question to us. So how our material degrade, how long it will be degrade. So because we have been asked for many time on this question, so that's why we propose to make a kind of a real example in our AIC. So we buy a kind of a soil, we keep a certain condition. So we put a kind of fabric in here. In here is a model, and we also have a kind of TENCELL and polyester. So we put into the soil under a certain period of time, and then to see how it degrades and also measure certain way over time. So next you can see how actually the next piece. Yeah, so this is animation. So this is 4 weeks, and after that this is 8 weeks, and after that plus more one time 12. So after 12 weeks it will be totally degradable. And the next, just to tell you a little bit about next. So it will tell you about like the model color starting from the week 1 to the week 12, and then the weight going in this way. So you can see from 14 and down to the 12 per week, it will be down to the 0. So I think today I would like to share with you in this 4 direction, starting from technology to the material. I hope in the future we can see each other in the center, and then, or even though in your factory, we can have a more face-to-face talk and without any mask. So thanks for your time, and have a good day. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rex. It's really great to know, AIC can do a lot of things. I think if the customer, if they like it, how they can work with us.
Okay. First of all, I think they can connect with our regional people. So we have a regional people like Judy. We have also have regional people in Korea and also in China and Taiwan. So first of all, contact with them, and then the regional people will pass your inquiry or connect with us to set up a kind of meeting together. So I think this is the way we are doing. And or maybe if the pandemic is gone, we can come to visit you and have a more talk, because we should to be more connected to the market.
Yeah. So it's only the fabric mills can work with you. How about the brands? Can they work with the AIC directly?
Yeah. Actually, the AIC or the center actually is work for the industry. We are not limited for the brand. We are not limited for the dye house. We also work for like the yarn manufacturer, and also like the dye stuff and chemical companies. So so development is not only limited on the yarn and fibers and application. We also have a development for the process optimization, technology development. So we are welcome to talk with you each other.